Hi, Dr. Patrick Gentempo here, and thank you for joining us on our YouTube channel. We have great content in store for you. I'm so excited to be here with you, and let's jump right into it.
Ryan, if there was ever a time for capitalism to be discussed, it's right now. People having to go from paychecks to finding their way in the world and becoming entrepreneurs. Even if they're a solopreneur, they're taking responsibility for their own income and their future now. That's my definition in part of an entrepreneur, at least. So I think you're one of the people that can give very powerful context here. So thanks for taking the time.
Of course, man. I don't think there's ever been more of a need for capitalism. I agree with you. And what a great opportunity we've got. I mean, we're in this period in which we're forced to make transitions. That's scary for a lot of people. But at the same time, there's so much changing in the world. And I think we're just beginning to be a part of that change. It creates so much opportunity for those of us who are in between and looking for new opportunities. So I'm just thrilled to be a part of this movement that is happening.
Thank you. What do you think about the headspace? There's people who have been in the job for a while and now suddenly they're dislocated, and it's a different kind of mindset to go into this new sort of entrepreneurial world. Do you have any thoughts about or advice for people that have to make that switch?
Yeah, so I mean the change that we're making here is from paycheck to profit. We're really looking at where our money comes from in the form of it coming from one customer being our boss versus the customer that we were serving in our job in the first place. And so when we're making that switch from being a full-time employee to being somebody who is now responsible to make something happen, our main focus is switching from serving the higher ups to serving those who are on the ground floor from whatever product or service it is that we brought to the world. And when you know that, then all of a sudden, all the life experience, all of the skills that you got from your last job, even if it's not coming back, all of the relationships that you built from your previous career, they're now fuel for you to continue operating in those skill sets that provided the most value previously. The only difference was you had to appease one person who was above you paying your paychecks. Now, if you make that switch to becoming an entrepreneur, the person writing your paycheck is the end user. It's the customer. It's the person who is benefiting the most from you being employed previously. And so we have cut out the higher ups and we've freed you up to focus on creating the most value for the people that you either used to serve and do it in a new way, or to serve a completely new group of people that you didn't have access to, but you can still serve them by focusing on the relationships, the experience, and the skills that you developed from your previous opportunities and your previous employment. So if you know that, then this transition doesn't have to be a scary thing. It can actually be a transition of brand new opportunities that have the ability to pay you more, give you more time flexibility, and allow you to have a more fulfilling life in a way that you were not able to do when you were working for someone else.
Yeah, and I'm glad you make those points, because the other side of crisis is opportunity, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
kind of it's what people hopefully understand. And my goal, or at least our aim for this, is that for the viewer who watches this, that they're going to look back on this time and say, really glad that happened. Really glad I lost my job.
Yes.
It put me on a path I otherwise wouldn't have gone on, and now I'm in a much better place in my life. Of course, that's going to require some work effort and decision making. So, and I know that you've worked with a lot of people over time that make this switch, or that want to go deep into learning how to be an entrepreneur and how to go into business and make this type of a future for themselves, or create this future. So if you were talking to someone now, and I know, of course, that you can't be overly generic with it, but in general, if you're talking to somebody now who's switching from that employee spot and trying to figure out, how do I move forward, or how do I make choices about what I should do? How do I market myself, et cetera? What advice would you be giving?
I mean, the first advice is just decide you're going to find opportunity in this. If you can enter into this actively looking for the opportunity, you're ahead of most people. Most people are sitting back on their heels, waiting for the opportunity, or waiting for someone else to do something about their situation. Please, if nothing else, just go into this time making the decision that you are going to find the opportunity in this. And number two, opportunity always comes on the other side of being prepared. And being prepared looks like taking control of whatever it is that you can control in this time right now. Now is a really good time to get in shape. Now is a really good time to clean up your diet. Now is a really good time to think about what's going in here on a regular basis. Now is a really good time to start thinking about what you can create and give and serve rather than what you can extract. Now is a really good time to learn new skills. Now is a really good time to start building new relationships, even if they're virtual. Now is the time to start planting seeds of something new. Now is the time for you to be prepared. Most people are waiting for the world to go back to normal. We are not going back to normal. We are only going forward. Forward is a beautiful thing. Forward happens on the back of preparedness starting to blossom and be ready and be harvested. And so if you are one of the prepared ones coming out of this, whatever that looks like, you're in the position to take advantage of the change that is inevitably moving, while most of the world is going to be looking at the change and fearing it, trying to stop it, trying to slow it, trying to shut it down. And instead, if you come into this with the knowledge that there is going to be opportunity, you've decided there's going to be, and you are in this period to be prepared for it, you're going to come out of this with more opportunities than you can imagine right now, because there are going to be opportunities that don't exist yet. And if you know that going in, you're golden.
I think it reminds me of the analogy of when you buy a red car, suddenly you see a bunch of red cars on the road. Yeah, it's like, if now you're seeing opportunity, you'll start seeing opportunities. But if you're not thinking about opportunities, or if you're not embracing the concept of opportunity, then you're probably not going to see anywhere. Are there any particular directions? You said that, hey, things are never going back to normal. It's going to be a new normal. That is the way of the world. Things change, and I was running companies through varying downturns, and the dot-com bubble, or 9/11, or the 2008 recession, et cetera. And every time there's a change, every time there's new behaviors, new things, even new businesses that emerge as a consequence. Do you have any thoughts about, okay, what are going to be my opportunities, or where are the areas or categories of opportunities that maybe I can pursue?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the opportunity moving forward is going to be on something what I call micro brands or micro businesses. And a micro brand is selling what might be the exact same thing as what somebody else is selling, but selling it to a very specific group of people. Behind you, I can see a book called Your Stand, Your Brand. Forgive me, I haven't read this book, Patrick, but I believe that if you take a stand for something, the people who resonate with what it is that you stand for are now your community, your audience, your clients and customers. And somebody could be standing for something completely opposite to you and selling the exact same thing to others who stand with the thing that this person stands for. And so the beauty of this is that all we have to do in order to serve a specific group of people is speak the truth. Speak the truth as we know it. And in doing so, we rally an audience behind us that resonates with that. So here's a kind of a fun example, Patrick. I'm wearing a shirt right now by a brand called Public Rec. I don't know the people here. This isn't a company I started. It's just a company that sent me an Instagram ad that they were the comfy shirt company for professionals who travel. That happens to be me, Patrick. Now, this could be the exact same thing that I get from Target, right? I don't know. But they said that they were the one for male professionals who travel. And guess what? I've spent a lot of money with Public Rec. In fact, my pants might be Public Rec too. I don't know. But the truth is, this could be the exact same shirt that some other brand sells. And I would never know. I don't really care. What I know is that I have a resource that I can go to that sells the types of clothing that I want. And that's all I care about. And guess what? My kids don't shop there. They don't want to shop there. My next door neighbor doesn't shop there. Most of my friends don't shop there, but I'm the young professional who travels. And so that's the brand for me. I have a client right now who sells a specific type of immunity supplement. Now, there's a lot of different brands of immunity supplements. In fact, you and I could probably have a debate of all, like, what's the best kind, and maybe we wouldn't even know. What makes his different is that he's the brand for truckers. Now, he is a trucker. He is a trucker who knows that industry, who knows those people, and he knows exactly what they need, want, and don't want. So he's able to communicate in a way that only they understand. He's able to use language that they use when they're on the road. He's able to think about the types of products that would serve that specific group of people. So he can develop things like inserts for the seat on long rides. He was telling me that there's a special place in the truck where they sleep and they store things. And there's things that you and I wouldn't even know that they have in there that he knows because that's who he is. And so the brand that he develops, being a brand that serves only truckers, allows him to serve a very specific group of people, even if his product isn't much different than what everybody else is doing. And so a micro brand or a micro business has a very specific group of people that it serves, and its product is simply the way that that person expresses or solves a specific need or pain point that they have. So the best thing that you can do right now is be thinking about not what you're going to do, not how you're going to do it, not how much you're going to make, not what you need to figure out, but who it is that you serve, who it is that your customer is. And it used to be, as we discussed, it used to be your boss. I do what my boss says. I do what the board says. I do what so-and-so says. My manager says. Now it is, I listen to what the customer needs. And it's my job to be resourceful enough to go find that solution. Even if you can't create it, even if you can't provide it, if your first question is, who is my person and what journey are they on? What are they trying to accomplish? And you start looking for the opportunities to help someone else on their journey, you will be successful.
Thanks so much for being here and watching that video. And can I ask you to please subscribe to our channel so you can find out when we're posting new content. You'll be alerted right away when we do. To share this with people you think might benefit from the information, and certainly it helps us if you like the video. So if you like what you just saw, go ahead and hit that like button. And again, thank you so much for being here with me right now.